All right, all right. Good morning, good morning. It is 6:32. It is November 18th. My name is Scott Redler. I'm the Chief Strategic Officer of T3Live.com. Welcome to today's 6:30 Club. We got a new week. So I will say last week got a little nasty. We had that huge post-election rally. If you were positioned for it, you did really well. If you thought we were going to digest normally, you probably got rolled over somewhat, depending where you are focused. Thank goodness, we went over a bunch of things here. What do I mean by that? Well, if you remember on the chart of the spies, we talked about would we hold higher? Would we hold 597? And guess what? We didn't. Would we have this bull flag type pattern and hold 594? We didn't. So what do? We came all the way back to retest the prior resistance that turns into support. But there's a huge gap here. So, you have to be a little careful. So we have to see what type of bounce do we have? Do we have like a strong bounce this week to negate this candle to go sideways and all of a sudden low, higher, low, higher, low? Or do we come into that gap? By the way, for some reason, I lost my voice. I don't know why. Might have been because I was in, I went with my friends to the North Fork. It was my friend Jen's 50th birthday. So I went with my best friend from high school, my best friend from college. And Red Dog. Red Dog had to, do his thing. So they don't have a sauna in their house, but they have the sound. So I went for a nice swim all by myself in the 45 degrees temperature, and which I don't think is the reason why I'm a little congested, but I'm a little congested today, so I got to save my voice. So the bottom line is here, question is, are we going to hold 583.86? 583.86 is your point of reference. That's what you call market discovery. They did market discovery. Okay. If it does, great. If it holds for a day and it doesn't really take back much of this, then you have a long way below. A lot of my friends, who I follow and I give the technical points. I was just talking to my friend Peter. I'm like, how'd you do Friday? It was pretty nasty. He's like, I did great. I'm like, what do you mean? He's like, when we broke 594, I bought the 590 puts, and then we broke 590. I bought the 585 puts and rolled them all the way down. And I didn't lose, but by having my hedges. I was like, wow. So a lot of people do things different ways. Some will just reduce risk. Some will do like low gross, low net, and some will get aggressive on the hedge side. And then all of a sudden, now this is taken out of the market. And then you see what's going on here next. Let me say hello to some of my dogs around the world real quick. It says tea and honey. I could do that. I actually did switch. I did something different. We got Neve, Rise and Shine. We got Blair. What up? Good morning. Cobblestone. What I think of the Tyson Sham? It was actually pretty funny. So I went out to dinner with with three or four different couples. We got back at 10:30. We're all like, we're gonna stay up and watch. And literally everyone fell asleep. And I woke up at 5 to 12. I set my alarm, started to watch it, and then it friggin' froze. So I was listening to it, but yeah. Anyway, I'm not going to comment on the whole thing right now, but yeah, kind of a little bit of a farce. What up, Bobby? How you doing, Mr. 4.0? Yes, Tesla. Listen, so Tesla was great. Okay, like Tesla was, it's been my number one stock pre-earnings, and then it was my number one MAGA 3 trade. If you remember when I was on Fox Business, I was like, if Trump wins, which I'm hearing it's going to be a landslide, you want to be in Bitcoin, you want to be in Tesla. And the other trade is DJT. I'm like, but I want nothing to do with it. If anything, I'm going to go with Amazon and the small caps. And you had to really use your tier system for both of those. Why? Well, first look at the IWM. I bought options for the election. I think we had the 228s, and you had a quick move. And if you didn't get out into that, holy cow, look at that almost island top breakout failure. This is already in. The IWM is already in and through, the post-election gap. So you want to see if that's going to lead other things. So this gap is no longer a gap. It's down to here now. So a lot of the momentum was taken out, but you had your levels, 236. It broke 236. You get out of the way. I haven't bought the IWMs once. If anything, I actually had puts on the IWMs here, and I didn't hold it long enough. The XBI was absolutely disastrous. If you remember, we bought the XBI right around here. I bought the 103s. I sold some into here on this red dog reversal sell that I teach all the time. I got down to a third, and then I lost in the last third. But holy cow, like that's fast and furious. That is why you have stops. That is why you have preparation. You don't just sit. Right here, you could have even got out here and saved yourself money. Besides saying, hey, this red dog reversal sell, maybe I at least reduce my tier size, which is something we teach all the time. And instead, if you didn't, you gave it all back and then some. That was disastrous. Where I got hurt a little bit was on on Friday in Amazon. I was not expecting, the size of the move down to retest this 200, 201 area. I had a lot of, we did very well in Amazon. At Amazon, right here, remember the 202.50s, the 207.50s, and, went up to here. I got really small. I was only in 25%. Like I played this perfectly. And then I just kind of thought Friday was going to be a normal day. Hey, let's buy the 205 area. I was buying 207.50 pre-market and 205.50, and they rolled me down really hard. I lost a lot of money in Amazon just because I was a little complacent, I guess. And all it did is come back and retest the 21 day. But I saw the news that Jeff was done selling, and I got all excited. It's going to go green and go, and boom, I got absolutely crushed. Some say it was because they were crossing a big block of McKenzie stock. So McKenzie's is Jeff's ex-wife, who owns just as much shares as Jeff, and you haven't heard anything about her. So what I'm hearing is that she crossed a big block of stock. Maybe we'll see it in a filing, and now we'll see, does this hold or not? You're starting to see some reasons why we might not be, so strong in the next week or two. This could turn out to be, you have a lot of breakout failures and you have a lot of things worse. Like XBI, this thing's cooked. Like I won't trade the XBI again for I don't even know when. IWM fully lost the entire gap. Now it's just maybe a bounce back trade. SPYs, hanging by a thread here. Like if the SPYs are going to follow the XBI and the IWM, you better be careful if this spot doesn't hold. Like right now, the SPYs, after what happened on last week, is only up 8 cents. So it's not like people are coming in this and like doing like a reversal bounce trade here. So you got to be careful. I will say I did Tesla pretty perfect. And Tesla gave you every reason to buy it on Friday. A, you had a red dog reversal. B, it held the 8 day. C, this is exactly where I told you we're going to be selling puts. I sold the 292.50s and I'm long the stock. So I come in today, a little risk down, but I am long Tesla, which is nice. What's it called? They're talking about fast tracking autonomous vehicles. I traded around Amazon. I bought a little dash back. I'm still in crypto, and then I have a little MSOS, and I got stuck in some Amazon calls and a little Nvidia for earnings, which is under pressure. So I have cleaned up a lot just because we had such a nice rally from the September 11th. Remember the September 11th washout trade? Well, here's your September 11th washout trade, which is right here. And now every so often you have to like get a little gut check on what's next. This was your September 11th washout trade. Beautiful trend all the way to about here. And then we got pretty tactical again until this was pre-election. And then pre-election, I went with mostly options because the election was like the biggest binary event you could have. Yes, Meta I haven't traded. Meta looks horrible. Excuse my French, but it does. I remember this day was up 15 and faded. I was like, that's very predatory. Now it's like below this end of the range. Meta was tough when it was perfect. Now Meta's like, I'm just going to wait and see. Even Apple is like nothing great. It's kind of hanging in this upper range, not in a rush. So it's like, again, I think last week on Tuesday, I was like, it's time to play some defense. Defense means keep your money, low gross, low net, and you're not looking aggressively to do all these different things and clean up things you're uncommitted to. There are times in the market where you're like, I'm not exactly sure. So you just want to do it that way. Yeah, Tesla and Palantir are great. You're right. And then if you look at, you look at Bitcoin, Bitcoin is hanging here, which is pretty cool. Just again, you don't want to see something predatory like what happened in, in some of these other sectors. Not saying it's going to happen, but this is Bitcoin right now. Um, I was thinking we could buy it even lower, and it's not the case yet. Here's a nice little bull flag. Here's your 8-day. If Bitcoin is going to stay highly aggressive with a lot of momentum and get to 100,000 in the next week or two, chances are it doesn't break IBIT doesn't break 48.52, or this area. If you go to Bitcoin itself, which is holding up great, a lot of people making a lot of money on altcoins now. I would not be just jumping into altcoins now, but you could do what you want. Ultimately, here's Bitcoin. And it's doing really well. So it's above the 8-day. It's another potential bull flag. The 8 days moved up. Here's your high, consolidating really well. We played it awesome above this 8-month channel, holding above the 8-day. It's doing everything it's supposed to do as a momentum trade right now. But again, be a little careful that if it does break fast or risk happens fast for some reason, like happened in the small caps or happened in the bios or happened in some tech, you don't want to just be complacent. I've been buying dips very shallow for 5 weeks, and I'm going to be a little careful buying dips a little faster, because I don't want to get run over, just in case. What do I think about the pre-earnings in NVIDIA? I don't know. NVIDIA came off pretty fast. I have one set of calls on. I cleaned up. I'm not in the stock. It's coming out Wednesday. There's some heating issues that people are talking about right now. I'm just like, you know what? I'm going to wait. I already bought some. So this is what I have on. Again, this is the alpha team. This is where you could join up and hang out and see me all day long. I have the NVIDIA 152.50s. I might have to add a little bit because NVIDIA is down like $4. It's down $3, and then that's it. I'll dedicate X amount of dollars just in case it delivers and saves the day. But if it doesn't, there are a lot of people talking about the head and shoulders top in the semis, which would not be good into year end. And every other semi is horrible. You look at AMD, lower lows. You look at you look at ARM. What's ARM doing? Below all the moving averages. Even Avago that was decent for a little bit, now it broke all the moving averages. So the semis have not been good. And now this, broke all the moving averages also. So at this point, the semis are not acting special. So if you think that NVIDIA is going to, save the day again, it could be a good trade, but I wouldn't put that much money into it. So anyway, again, I really think, you have to be playing a nice set of defense here. I'm going to continue to trade Tesla. I'm going to continue on pullbacks. I'm going to sell puts on pullbacks. I'm going to buy, maybe to even put on a whole new set of calls a few weeks out just to make sure, I could be involved if it has a silly move again. And got to be careful. The TLTs, rates are going higher. The TLTs, if it breaks and holds below this little spot of 89-ish, 89.50, which, it's getting close to, market's not going to like it. Okay. Powell came out and said they might not be in any rush, to lower rates. Why would they lower rates when the S&P is up 25%? We get into a corrective phase between now and the next few weeks, maybe makes it a little easier, for them to lower rates. But for now, again, I'm still, I want to be opportunistic, but I want to play good defense because we've made a lot of money since September 11th, a lot of money through the election. It's November 18th. And, historically, this week is a choppy week as it sets up, a rally for, Thanksgiving week. So again, let's let some price discovery happen and, just know your levels and don't have a false sense of security. A lot of people had a false sense of security because the media was talking 6,300 in the S&P. Trump administration could do no wrong where everyone's market friendly, and then boom, they ran everybody over. So just be careful. You don't want to get run over. All right, guys, I appreciate you. I have a lot of charts to do, a lot of things. Prepare for your day. Sorry about the voice. I appreciate you. What do I think of Dash? I think Dash can come in too. Dash just broke the 8-day. So I would think I'm not buying any more Dash until, the 20, until it gets closer to like this 165. I bought a little bit at 170, and I'll buy a little bit more into here. Again, it's been above the 8 in 21 days since we started this at 128. So here's your 21 days. So don't be in a rush, right? What was a famous coach out there? Wooden, think fast, move fast, but don't be in a rush, or something like that. Anyway, I appreciate you guys. I'll see you guys in a bit.